All right, hi book lovers. Today I got a very interesting guest with me, one of my close friends at WORQ, where we both met for the first time. And Jake here is from the VC community and invests and evaluates companies for their startup viability. Today he'll be with us to share a book that he has read recently. Jake, would you like to share a little bit about that book?
Yeah, so here is the book. It's called WTF, What's the Future and Why It's Up to Us by Tim O'Reilly. I find this book fascinating. It talks about where we come from the dawn of the internet age to where we are now and where this is going. And as the titles would suggest, what's the future is going to be like from here and why it is up to us. And it is up to us, as I shall share later on what I got out of the book, that we will really be building the future that we want to be living in the future, or our kids would be living in the future. So yeah.
It sounds interesting. I can't wait to learn more about the book. I have 2 kids myself, and I believe the world is going to change drastically because of the huge amount of data that's coming in. People like Elon Musk is building robots. People are talking about AI every day. Even small companies are looking into data analysis and how they can improve the way they understand their business. So Jake, what's the first takeaway from this book?
The first takeaway would be that platform as a service. Remember this term, platform as a service, is going to be your future right there. The book talks about, the author actually starts by talking about the history of the internet and how open source has helped the entire internet that now become our world, literally. Internet is our world, basically. You wake up in the morning, you don't check text, but you check your WhatsApp or your Facebook messengers and whatnot. So literally, internet is our world right now, but it wouldn't have happened without open source. So that was a little bit about of history that the author digs into. But the immediate point that he got to next was that platform is going to be the new economic model going forward. Think of Uber, think of Airbnb. That will be the de facto economy going forward. And rightly so, because basically everything is built on platform, right? Right now, these days, everything is built on platform. Everything you use is on platform. Yeah.
Reflecting on my days during COVID and during lockdowns, I realized that I'm spending a lot of my health life, my running and my cycling on a digital platform called Conqueror, where I can trail different countries all over the world and track my progress that way. I do a lot of data analytics, so a lot of the analytics and the data that I'm using is all done online. All of my books that I'm writing is all digital, and some of the books that I'm reading is also digital. And how I'm communicating with people such as yourself, Jake, today is all digital. So I can't help but think that I'm spending more time in the digital realm than in the physical realm.
Exactly. I'm sure 99% of the rest of people are feeling the same thing, right? Everything is on platform. Your accounting thing, your income statement, or everything is on platform. Pretty much, I'm sure right now no one uses paper anymore, and everything is on the cloud. Cloud itself is a platform. It's something that is growing rapidly, and everyone's using cloud. Before we started, we were just talking about how some people records their meetings to the cloud instead of the computer, and that itself is a storage platform moving forward. And right now, I think you can get terabytes of storage on cloud. We didn't get that before, right? It was like 5 gigs. That's the most, I think. Right now, I think you can get terabytes of data storage. That's a platform. We used to use pen drive, right, or thumb drive. Right now, there's a platform already on it that everything you can store on it. So It's crazy, right? Think about it.
Now, with platforms in the mix and our life being so digital, what's your second takeaway from the book that's feeding off this trend?
The second one is important, and I think that it's even more important than the platform that we mentioned previously. But it builds on it as well, which is before that, let me ask you, what do you think our world will be governed by?
I think our world will be governed by data that is generated by us, and how is that data being perceived to make decisions as to what we're going to do every single day. It sounds scary, but I can't help think that this future is coming. It's unavoidable.
Yep.
And all leaders, including ourselves, has to be aware of the changes coming.
Exactly, and that's exactly what my second takeaway from the entire book was. It's just one word: algorithms. It's algorithm that is going to govern our world going forward. And right now we have more talks on AI and machine learning and whatnot, which is everything. All of those topics are based on algorithms, and you can't help but think about the news that we watch, the food that we eat. Think about the food that you eat, right? Or the driver that you pick, or the driver that you got from your Grab car or something like that. You leave your reviews or your ratings, or you go on like Food Panda and you order the food and whatnot, or Grab food or something like that. Every those decisions that you make and every those ratings that you do and the reviews that you put on, those are all the data, right? And you know that restaurants or merchants, they would use those information and they will rank the most popular, the least popular, and all those. Right? Those are algorithms that are driving people's decisions, right? You see the most popular food and everyone's ordering that. Maybe that's good, then you order that. And then you see the one that is the sketchiest, and then you'll be like, I'm probably not going to go for that. And so those are algorithms, right? Those are the simplest terms that you can think of when you think of algorithm that is driving your decisions on a daily basis. And so it's crazy, right? When you think about the decisions that we make before we have all these sophisticated algorithms and technology, that we just make those decisions that best for us. But right now we have a lot of all those information and all those data that we have, and the technologists are using all this data to sort of create a better experience for us. But at the same time, they are using those algorithms to influence our decisions. And so it's insane to think about that.
The hot topic right now is about data governance and data ethics.
Right.
I realize that. And one of the big trends that is happening right now in the marketplace is that people are starting to couple analytics, machine learning, and AI together, calling AML AI. And if you look at it in the past, analytics were used by data scientists and statisticians to kind of like understand the world around them. Then once that happened, they wanted a much more learning approach to data. That's where machine learning came in.
Right.
Once you go towards machine learning, you are able to learn about the environment, but still humans are still in control of the results, right? What they have learned from what the machine has learned, the humans will interpret it and then performs the action. So they couple it with AI already, and that's where you're talking about Grab and all of these automated systems that uses whatever data that's coming out from machine learning and analytics to change the way the system operates and governs us.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Exactly. And I think that there are other aspect of it as well. You know about self-driving cars, right? I mean, self-driving cars is sort of the new rage these days. The author pointed out a very interesting scenario where I think Waymo or some Uber experimental self-driving cars cover 7 miles in 7 hours or something like that. But a lot of those data that they got a lot of them are using the Google Maps data. you know the Google car, right? The Google car that goes around the Street View thing, and then you can go on the Street View using your drop the little guy on it, and then you can see those data. People are using Google Maps to navigate where they want to go, like Waze or something like that, right? And so those are the data as well that will be that's one example of using all those sort of crowdsource or open source data that everyone is using naturally, and to use that for something that is a more high-tech or more interesting product, such as the self-driving cars. And I think that there's going to be a lot of all those more crowdsourced, if you will, data that companies are going to use to build something interesting.
Yep, who knows, we might have a self-riding plane.
Oh my.
Well, who knows what the future will be, but it's definitely going to be driven by data. And moving from this topic, what's going to happen next in the book? What's the third takeaway?
Yeah, so that also builds on the next key point that is pointed out, which is that, but something related to our jobs. Our jobs in the future will be on demand, because the new business model in the future will pretty much be on demand. Why? Because of the platform, one, and because of data and information. When you have information and you have data, when you're able to build a platform, on demand is going to be the next thing. And companies that can capitalize the platform and using data and information will have the most efficiency in the market, and they can win the biggest market share. And so with that, you need to counter it with you have to balance it with another point, right? Which is jobs. You create service, you create business, and you need people to help deliver that to customers, and that's the jobs. So the jobs will be on demand as well. Think about your Grab driver or your Uber driver, your food deliverer, right? Those are on-demand jobs. Those are gig jobs. Gig jobs are pretty much on demand because you call it and it comes to you, right? And so platforms and information have allowed us to work wherever we want and when we want. And so the future really sides with whoever can create the most on-demand jobs will win. And so with that, whoever can sort of create more jobs in a sense. Think about it. Some people may not realize that, but your Grab drivers, those jobs, the Grab driver jobs or the food delivery job, or the Airbnb kind of, if you consider every one of the renter, and if you consider all of the drivers, and if you consider all of the deliverer, if you consider those are jobs, they create more jobs than a lot of companies combined for the economy as a whole. And so that's the value creation side. And so in the future, I think government in every countries, I think, or all countries, have to really think about how they should prioritize companies that create those kind of jobs for people instead of some companies that create just the little jobs, desk jobs or something like that. Because the future is fluid, the future is platform, the future is how you use data and information, and the jobs in the future will be those on-demand jobs.
Did the book cover anything about gig economy?
Yeah, which is the job side.
The on-demand jobs that you mentioned.
The on-demand jobs, yeah, those are on-demand jobs because they are not fixed, and people are considered freelancers, right? Usually they're considered freelancers; they're not considered full-time. And that creates a lot of friction with like whether they should be considered a full-timer, therefore being given the insurance, the EPF and all those. But I think that's a topic for another day. But those are the on-demand jobs, and those are the on-demand workers, if you call it, or on-demand employees. And I think that will be the future as well. People choose what they want to do, what they want to work, instead of going for 9 to 5 and then just go home and then the next day do the same thing and the next day do the same thing.
Thanks, Jake. So it looks like the book is trying to say that our world will be governed by data analytics. Companies will make full use of it, and all of these companies will be using a lot of algorithms to automate our world, and we will in return be working on demand whenever, wherever, however we want to, and that will be somewhat of the future. So coming around this book, we have a keeper rating for the book from 1 to 5. 5 being, I love the book so much, I will keep it. 1, I'm just so with the book, I might just pass it on. Where does this book stand for you?
Oh, this is going to be a 4.5 for me.
Wow. Okay, I'll definitely get my hands on this book. So Jake, thanks for sharing about this book. Really enjoyed the short session, but I get the gist. I know where the future is heading. I can feel it. I think we both can feel it. It's about the future of data. So thanks, Jake. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard.